In this video, I'm going to answer a question that I get a lot, and it involves the Creative Fabrica bundles. So here's just an example. The Mega Craft bundle comes with all this, goes on, and it includes these. Okay, so it includes like Mama Bear, Pre-K Tribe, Baseball Mom, that sort of thing. So the question that I'm getting is that people are asking, well, that's great, and I've downloaded these, but can I just upload them as is to a Redbubble site or a TeePublic site? And the answer is you could, but you could get into trouble from a copyright perspective because someone else could have uploaded this exact same design. So in this video, I'm going to walk through how you can change these graphics. You can add something to it or modify it. I'm going to give you some real examples so that when you download these bundles, you can use them with confidence that you won't get a copyright strike. Let's go. Okay, so before we get started here, I'm just going to point out two things. One, I'm only going to download parts 1 and part 2 of this mega bundle because it's ridiculously huge. It's 173 premium graphics, and I'm going to show you like 4 examples, okay? So I'm just going to download a couple. The other thing I wanted to point out is that if you click on the link in the video description below, the Creative Fabrica website, the link that I've got is an affiliate link. So just a heads up that if you do wind up purchasing this bundle or any other bundle, I would receive a small commission and you'd be helping support this site. But I'm not really going to be talking about Creative Fabrica in this video. It's more so how to modify these designs so that you don't get a copyright strike. Okay, so I'm just going to be using Photoshop because it's what I'm most comfortable using, but I don't want you to get too hung up on whether I'm using Photoshop or Inkscape or Affinity or Canva. It doesn't really matter. This is just more of a design tutorial to just show you what you can and should do in order to make your designs your own. So here's just one that I pulled out of the bundle. It's called Brush Your Teeth. And the first tip that I've got for you is to add another graphic to this, so that if you're going to make it on a t-shirt or a coffee mug, it now becomes your design. So really this is just text. And so I can now say, put another graphic down below. So I'm on a website here called SVG SILH, stands for silhouette. I'm going to type into the search window here, bathroom. And now I get a whole bunch of bathroom silhouettes that come up. So I'm just going to grab something off of this. So here, for example, I just grabbed a free silhouette of a toothbrush. I can just add that in. I can rotate it. I can throw that down there. And that's pretty much it. Here's another one. This is just a different toothbrush. But again, you could do that as well. Just throw that down, put that off, maybe off center it. And again, that's another design. Okay, so there's like, I'm not saying this is high art, but I'm just saying, it's relatively easy to just stick another piece of graphic down below, and that's now becomes a bathroom sign, t-shirt, whatever you want to have. It doesn't need to be a toothbrush either. You could also put that there. So you could have brush your teeth down here. That's another option. So now you've got the actual, I'll just change the color of it here. So now it matches exactly. This is where the art piece comes in, is that you can also, you start getting a little bit creative here and you can think outside the box a tiny bit. So here's, for example, a little teardrop that I've got. Well, I can have that coming out of the faucet, for example, and I could make it, say, a really bright color. So it's otherwise like a black image, and then I can just put it underneath there. So there, for example, brush your teeth, and the brush your teeth is down here. So we've got that. You could even have that coming out like that. You could change this. You could, you could obviously move it around, right? You could move this up. You could make this smaller, that sort of thing. So that's an option there. You could have that with one monotone color inside of it. You can also do something a little more adult, and you could have, for example, a mouth, a lips, that sort of thing. And, you can color it. You can make it Now you could leave it black and white if you wanted. I'm just saying you could also throw it down like this if you so choose. So you could do that, and then you could put the layer on top of it. So again, there's nothing like that's just a pretty basic design, right? You could put that on, you could have different backgrounds, that sort of thing. But adding some sort of graphic to a picture will significantly change the design enough that it becomes a unique design rather than just what you got from Creative Fabrica. Okay, the second trick I've got is removing pieces of the design rather than adding to it. So here's, for example, a pretty standard t-shirt design that says "Mommy is my bestie." You'd obviously throw this on a kid's onesie or a t-shirt or something like that. So what I'm going to do is just remove the little hearts. And that's it. You've now changed the design. Technically, you could say this is yours now instead of Creative Fabrica's, because you would you've significantly changed it. Now I think it's a little bit boring, so what I would suggest is let's add in our own hearts instead, so we can remove and or replace. Okay, so here I've just grabbed a heart off of, again, one of those free websites like SVG, SILH, and I can just throw hearts now around if I want to, copy that. I can just duplicate the layer and I can just make more copies as I need to. I can make them larger, I can make them smaller, I can rotate them, I can do whatever I want with them, right? So the idea here is that you've now created your own hearts so that should someone say, hey, wait a minute, I've got the exact same design, it's like, impossible, or at least almost impossible, because you've taken different hearts off of a different site, you've put them in different positions, and now you've got a different design. I do want to point out as well that the artistry piece comes in. You don't just have to like replace hearts with hearts. Here's, for example, a coffee mug. And so the idea here would be, let's say your kid just loves coffee and they're like 7 years old and they're like, oh, I feel grown up because I get to drink hot chocolate with mom. Well, that's a really like tiny niche, but that's my whole point. If you're going to be successful on Redbubble or TeePublic, you'd actually want to have niche things that not everybody has. So this is my point, is that you could say, well, maybe you'd want to have a coffee mug on there. It's not super intuitive, but you could have things that a mom and a daughter or a mom and a son would share, like, for example, a coffee mug. It could be tea, it could be hot chocolate. You could have a soccer ball on here, for example. Maybe they go sailing, for example, and now you've got this design sitting on a t-shirt. And it's like, wow, I go sailing with my son. That's a t-shirt that I really need, right? So there's different things. When I see this text, I immediately think of about 100 different things. Soccer balls, sailing, hiking. It could be anything, right? Any activity that the mom and the kid spend together. So it doesn't just need to be hearts. The third option involves putting backgrounds or textures in as part of your design. And by the way, you can mix and match these techniques, so you don't have to use them completely in isolation. So here's one, it's another bathroom design. It says, I don't sing in the shower, I perform. So you could use the first one, which is you could add, a picture. You could also remove I perform and make it larger in different font, for example. So that's, step one. Step two. The third one here is having some sort of, texture. If you're creating a sign and it says, I don't sing in the shower, I perform. But let's say that you've got, let's say you're making a sign for a client. Well, you might want to have it be, something like that, just a background, and that's it, right? So now if you made that as a sticker, say on Redbubble, that's a completely different design. I understand it's the same text, and I would probably add in a heart or a little picture of a shower or maybe a couple musical notes, but adding in a background, it makes it a completely different design. There's bamboo background. There is, brick background. This one I like because you can make it, this is like a really dark wood. So what you can do now is you can actually make the original design, you can make it the opposite. So instead of dark text, you can just make it light text. So that's now a completely different design. It's different colored font. It's got a different background. So I get it. I get that the font's the same, but you can basically tinker around with, knocking off, these little thingies off to the side here, and you could add your own in, add a couple musical notes, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of different options. You can also make this into a circular sticker, for example, with that background. You're done. Like, that's a completely different design. So I hope you found that helpful. Just a quick tutorial to run through 3 different techniques using some real life examples from Creative Fabrico. So you can pull those bundles down and you can use them with confidence that you're not going to get a copyright strike. Flip things, change things, add things, remove things, and really think outside the box. Don't just replace the artwork. You can come up with new ideas as well. Think about soccer balls, anchors, things that are activities that people would spend, and you can basically pull some pretty nice silhouettes and clip arts for free online, and you can play around with those and have some fun with it. After all, you're an artist, and the whole point of this is to have some fun while making some money. So I hope you found that helpful. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.